how much more do you actually take with glass cannon? So I woke up wanting to do a fun little experiment, and I just wanted to get back on the whole glass cannon track thing just for a little bit, because I actually just got curious, like, how much more is perfect glass cannon versus not wearing glass cannon in terms of like damage received? Like, what's the difference? Is there a way to measure it? Is there a way to look at it? Is there a way to just poke around with it? So what I've done is very, very botched, but hopefully it will give people a rough idea of the difference between perfect glass cannon, and not glass cannon in terms of the damage you actively take. Now, there's not really a clean way to do this. I kind of wish there was like a way in which we could do this in the range. Instead, what I've had to do is kind of just pick apart groups and leave one ad behind, and then get it to kill me, hide, revive hive, because I'm a revive hive main, hide, change gear, heal myself back up, and then pop back out and be like, hey, shoot me again, and just rinse and repeat. And then take the footage, slow it down, and then count how many shots there are, which is what you're seeing here. I've removed my bug in head, so hopefully it's a little bit easier for you to see, but hopefully you can see. Left is perfect glass cannon, middle is glass cannon, right is nothing. I've got like obliterate on. And they basically all die within near enough the exact same time. However, there's an issue with doing it this way, and that is quite simply the enemies pause, sometimes they aim for headshots, and I'm pretty sure as well they crit. So now what I did is just simply count how many bullets it takes to hit health gate. For perfect glass cannon, it was 14 bullets. Yay! For normal glass cannon, again, 14 bullets. And then for not having glass cannon, we had 23 bullets. Now on its face, this might seem like a lot. Like, extra 10 bullets that you can take. There's one thing you've got to remember though. Roughly, the average RPM from most enemies in the game is about 800. That's 13 bullets a second. This means not running glass cannon allows you to potentially survive 0.76 seconds longer. Now I'm about to put a little green ball on the screen. It's going to be up for a total of 0.7 seconds, which should hopefully give you a rough idea of how small of a time gap we're looking at. Ready? See it? Now what I'm doing now is testing my damage theories with different classes. So this is a hyena, he has a G36, the True Sun had a P416, the G36 has a higher base. This dude chunks me and takes me down to health gate in 9 bullets. 9, not the 14 that the P416 did, 9 bullets. So it potentially could also take into account the fact that this dude is a purple and the other one is a red. That is something that I'm going to need to test in the future. However, I just wanted to double check that different enemies from different factions, potentially with different weapons, do actually do different damage. This potentially could also include veterancy, which I didn't actually account for because I was pretty sure it didn't happen. But now that I'm looking at it, it potentially does. So that is something I'll need to look into. Anyway, the next bit of fun is trying to get out of this guy's way and then swapping off glass cannon, as you can see there. I'm just going to put something that's got obliterate on, anything that doesn't have a blue core or glass sport for choice here. Everything's got glass cannon on. Heal up, obviously, and we're just going to count again. Now, annoyingly, I do a little bit of a faux pas, and in my moving out before I start counting, I do already take an initial shot, which I do take into consideration. Don't worry. However, one thing that I'm hoping everyone does notice is that throughout all of this, the main thing that I actually caught on to is the enemies don't actually have perfect aim. They miss half their shots, easily 40 to 50% of their shots are complete misses. He missed his first 4 shots and he was barely a foot from me. Anyway, this was, although not full health, but counting in that extra sliver that I messed up with, it was 15 shots to get me to the health gate. So 15 shots and then 16 to put me down. So yeah, the overall difference, at least what I have seen or determined, the overall difference between perfect glass cannon and glass cannon is like there's near enough no difference. It's like the exact same between perfect glass cannon and glass cannon. And the difference between then glass cannon and not running glass cannon, although numerically saying there's like an average difference of like 8 to 10 bullets does sound like a lot, the rate in which you would take those 8 to 10 bullets is like half a second with a bit of change, depending. What you're seeing now on screen is the test that I did earlier with perfect glass cannon, and then without glass cannon. I'm just showing it again, this time with the changes so that you can actually see. I honestly never thought that setting up a test where I intentionally die would be actively so damn difficult. But yeah, the reasons this test has gone a little bit skew whiff of my own design is quite simply, one, I'm pretty damn confident that ads have their own crit rate. Tiny amount, maybe like a 20% chance. There's like a 40% critical hit damage, maybe. Just watching them do damage, it's not even. Like, you'll take like a chunk that big, and then you'll take a chunk that big, and then you'll take a chunk that big. It's not even. So something is absolutely going on that's adding variables to their damage. Obviously, they can hit headshots, which is one of the reasons why snipers actually do so much damage. They do tend to aim for heads, which is quite weird. As well as elites in general will tend to aim for heads. So that's going to be a fun one. I also then need to test as well as to whether they actually have damage to targets out of cover, or like damage to armor on their weapons, etc, or damage to health. There is one thing that I have absolutely noticed is the way in which, like visually, the way in which your health bar, not the armor, the health bar, visually shows you taking damage is a bit weird. You'll see the bullet hit, and you'll take like a chunk like that, and then a bullet won't hit, but then the chunk will just go and just get a little bit bigger, which I kind of feel like potentially is the damage to health application. It's almost, rather than it just chunking like the armor bar does, it's almost like it's a slider. It's just sliding down. So it's really actually hard to determine whether or not you've actually taken a bullet or not half the time, because it's just sliding down. So you've got to match up the visual cue of the enemy shooting with you taking damage on your health bar. And sometimes you'll just see your health bar disappear and nothing's actually shot you. It's kind of bizarre and weird. But anyway, that is going to be it for this video. I do absolutely need to do some further testing. So if you guys actually have any idea as to what it is I can test, or any further things I can test with this, do let me know. However, in the meantime, have fun, good luck, don't die. It's bad for the health.